Do you ever feel like your mind's not as sharp as it used to be? You walk into a room and forget why you're there, or you lose focus halfway through reading an article. It's something a lot of people, especially men as they get older, quietly struggle with. But the truth is, mental decline isn't something we just have to accept. The brain, much like the body, can be trained, strengthened, and rejuvenated. And the best part, it doesn't take hours of meditation or complicated routines. In fact, there's a simple 2-minute exercise you can do every day that can genuinely help sharpen your mind, improve focus, and even boost your mood. Now, before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about what's really going on. Modern life doesn't exactly make it easy to stay mentally fit. We're constantly bombarded with information, stress, poor sleep, too much screen time, and not nearly enough movement. Add to that the habits that quietly wear us down, like skipping meals, not drinking enough water, or spending too much time sitting, and it's no wonder so many people feel foggy or unfocused. The brain thrives on oxygen, nutrients, and stimulation, but our daily routines often give it the opposite. The good news is the body and brain respond remarkably well to small, consistent actions. You don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle. Just a few mindful changes, like getting up and moving for 2 minutes, breathing deeply, or doing a short coordination exercise, can send more oxygen to the brain, reduce stress hormones, and boost alertness. It's the kind of thing that seems too simple to make a difference, but it really does. And when you combine this with a few basic healthy habits, like staying hydrated, eating real food instead of ultra-processed snacks, sleeping well, and keeping your mind curious, you're building a strong foundation for long-term mental clarity. What I'm about to share isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures. It's about using your body's own natural systems to support your brain so you can think clearer, stay focused, and feel more like yourself again. So, let's look at this 2-minute daily exercise that can make a real difference for your brain health. It's simple, practical, and something anyone can start right now, wherever they are. When we talk about sharpening the mind and maintaining focus, one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools is movement. The brain depends heavily on oxygen to function at its best, and even brief physical activity can dramatically increase blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients directly to brain cells. This process fuels the production of energy within the neurons, allowing for faster communication between them and improving overall cognitive performance. When you engage in just a few minutes of daily exercise, it's not simply your body that benefits, but your brain as well. These short bouts of movement trigger a cascade of positive effects that help keep your mind alert, responsive, and balanced throughout the day. The modern lifestyle often restricts movement. Long hours sitting at a desk, scrolling through devices, and multitasking can slow circulation and reduce the oxygen supply to the brain. When oxygen levels drop, the brain's energy production decreases, leading to that foggy feeling so many people experience. A simple 2-minute exercise can reverse this effect almost immediately. Think of it like opening a window in a stuffy room. The fresh rush of oxygen refreshes your system, clears the mind, and improves mental clarity. This is why even a short walk, a few stretches, or light aerobic movement can make you feel instantly more awake and capable of focusing on the task at hand. Physiologically, the brain uses about 20% of the body's oxygen supply, even though it makes up only about 2% of body weight. That means any small increase in oxygen delivery can have a big impact. Exercise stimulates the heart to pump faster, which means more oxygen-rich blood reaches the brain. This not only boosts mental alertness in the moment, but also promotes long-term brain health by encouraging the growth of new brain cells, a process known as neurogenesis. Research shows that areas of the brain responsible for memory and learning, such as the hippocampus, respond positively to regular physical activity. It's remarkable that something as short as a 2-minute daily routine can contribute to this regenerative process. Beyond oxygenation, short daily exercise also helps regulate key neurotransmitters. When you move your body, your brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, chemicals that play a central role in attention, motivation, and mood. People who practice brief, consistent movement often report feeling more focused, less anxious, and better able to think clearly throughout the day. These effects aren't only psychological, they are grounded in biology. Movement literally changes the chemical balance of your brain, making it more efficient at processing information and responding to stress. The more regularly you engage in these small bouts of activity, the more your brain adapts to this healthier state of alertness. This kind of exercise doesn't have to be strenuous. In fact, gentle movement often works better for improving focus because it activates the brain without overwhelming the body. You might do 2 minutes of brisk walking, light jumping jacks, or a few deep squats followed by slow, controlled breathing. The key is consistency rather than intensity. The brain thrives on routine. By signaling to your body every day that movement is part of your normal rhythm, you train your system to maintain higher levels of oxygenation and alertness even during periods of rest. Over time, this creates a steady state of improved concentration and cognitive sharpness that lasts well beyond the exercise itself. What's fascinating is how quickly the brain responds to movement. Within seconds of beginning to exercise, blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain involved in decision making and attention, increases. This means that even a short break from your work to do some light physical activity can restore focus and help you return to your tasks with more mental energy. Many people find that their best ideas come to them not while sitting and thinking hard, but while walking, stretching, or doing some rhythmic movement. This is because exercise enhances communication between different parts of the brain, allowing creative thoughts to flow more freely. In addition to oxygen and neurotransmitters, short exercise bursts improve glucose metabolism in the brain. Glucose is the brain's main source of energy, and when it's used efficiently, you feel alert and able to process information quickly. A sedentary lifestyle, on the other hand, can make your brain's energy systems sluggish. By moving your body regularly, you're essentially reminding your brain how to use its fuel properly. This helps prevent the mental fatigue that can set in after long periods of inactivity. In practical terms, that means fewer lapses in attention, better memory recall, and sharper problem-solving skills throughout your day. For men in particular, the connection between physical activity and mental function is especially important. As testosterone and other hormones naturally fluctuate with age, energy levels and motivation can dip, which in turn affects focus and mental drive. Regular short bouts of exercise help balance these hormones, increase energy, and improve overall mood. This creates a positive feedback loop. The better you feel physically, the clearer and more motivated you become mentally. That's one reason why incorporating this simple 2-minute habit into your daily routine can be so transformative. It strengthens not only the body, but also the confidence and clarity that come from feeling in control of your own energy and focus. It's also worth mentioning how movement affects stress. Chronic stress floods the brain with cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated for too long, can damage brain cells and impair memory. Even a brief period of physical activity helps regulate cortisol levels by activating the body's natural relaxation response. This isn't just about feeling calm, it's about protecting your brain from the damaging effects of ongoing tension and worry. Over time, this balance leads to a more resilient and adaptable mind, capable of handling challenges without becoming overwhelmed. Perhaps what makes the daily 2-minute exercise practice so appealing is its simplicity. There's no special equipment, no gym membership, no long schedule to maintain. You can do it at home, at work, even while waiting for your coffee to brew. It's about making the conscious choice to move rather than remain still, to give your brain that vital boost of oxygen and stimulation. The cumulative effect of doing this every day builds mental strength in much the same way consistent exercise builds physical endurance. You start to notice that you think more clearly, react more calmly, and retain information more easily. Small, regular bursts of movement throughout the day are like feeding your brain little doses of vitality. It's easy to underestimate how powerful this can be, because we tend to associate brain improvement with mental exercises like puzzles or reading. Those activities are valuable, but they rely on the physical foundation that movement provides. Without good circulation, adequate oxygen, and balanced neurotransmitters, even the sharpest mind can struggle to perform well. The 2-minute daily exercise works as a simple, science-backed way to support that foundation, ensuring your brain has what it needs to function at its peak throughout all stages of life. Small lifestyle changes often make the biggest difference when it comes to long-term mental clarity. Many people assume that improving brain function requires drastic measures, but the truth is that the brain thrives on small, consistent habits that compound over time. When you make gentle adjustments to how you move, eat, rest, and think each day, you're actually training your brain to operate in a more balanced and efficient way. These habits may seem simple, but they create a stable environment for the brain to process information smoothly, stay calm under pressure, and recover quickly from mental fatigue. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency, because the brain responds best to steady signals of care and nourishment. One of the most effective lifestyle shifts you can make is improving the quality of your sleep. The brain does most of its maintenance work while you're asleep, removing toxins, repairing connections between neurons, and organizing memories from the day. When you consistently miss out on restful sleep, the brain struggles to perform these essential tasks, leading to slower thinking, irritability, and forgetfulness. Creating a calm bedtime routine, dimming lights in the evening, and keeping digital devices away for at least an hour before sleep can dramatically improve sleep quality. These small adjustments may not feel significant in the moment, but they support a deep biological process that keeps your brain functioning smoothly day after day. Nutrition is another key area where small changes can lead to remarkable improvements in mental clarity. The brain is highly sensitive to what you eat because it relies on a steady flow of nutrients to produce neurotransmitters and maintain communication between brain cells. Choosing whole, minimally processed foods, staying hydrated, and including healthy fats like those found in nuts, olive oil, and fish helps protect the brain from inflammation and oxidative stress. Even something as simple as having a balanced breakfast with protein and complex carbohydrates can stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the energy crashes that often lead to brain fog later in the day. The food choices you make don't have to be extreme. It's the cumulative effect of consistent nourishment that keeps the brain clear and focused. Movement is also part of the equation, not just for physical health, but for maintaining steady mental performance. It doesn't require long workouts or intense routines. Gentle daily movement, walking, stretching, or doing light bodyweight exercises keeps blood circulation strong and maintains oxygen delivery to the brain. This constant flow supports the areas responsible for memory and attention. The act of moving also helps regulate hormones that affect mood, such as cortisol and serotonin. A short stroll after meals, standing to stretch every hour, or even light breathing exercises can help prevent the sluggishness that builds up from long periods of sitting. These are small lifestyle adjustments that fit naturally into your day, but have a powerful cumulative effect on your brain's sharpness. Equally important is mental rest. The brain isn't designed to stay in a constant state of stimulation. Many people try to push through fatigue with caffeine or screen time, but what the brain really needs is recovery. Taking short breaks to step away from screens, practicing deep breathing, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection helps the brain reset its focus. This doesn't just reduce stress, it also enhances creativity and problem-solving ability. The human brain has a remarkable ability to reorganize information when given space, so moments of intentional stillness become just as vital as active learning. Over time, this balance between stimulation and rest improves both clarity and resilience, allowing you to think more clearly even in demanding situations. Another simple yet powerful adjustment is staying properly hydrated. Dehydration, even mild, can reduce brain performance noticeably. The brain is made up of about 75% water, and when fluid levels drop, concentration and memory can decline. A small daily habit like keeping a glass of water within reach or starting your day with a full glass before coffee can keep your brain functioning at its best. It's easy to underestimate this, but maintaining hydration helps regulate blood flow, nutrient transport, and the removal of metabolic waste from the brain. Consistent hydration supports long-term brain efficiency without any complicated effort. Mental clarity also depends on emotional balance. Chronic stress and negative emotions can cloud judgment and drain focus. Managing stress doesn't require an elaborate system. Often, it starts with awareness. Paying attention to how you breathe when stressed, taking a slow exhale, or going for a brief walk can quickly lower stress hormone levels. Simple mindfulness practices, like observing your thoughts without reacting or focusing on your breath, train your brain to stay calm and present. Over time, these moments of awareness build mental discipline and emotional stability, allowing you to think more clearly and make better decisions even under pressure. Another small but meaningful change involves managing digital habits. Constant notifications, social media scrolling, and multitasking can fragment attention and overload the brain's processing capacity. Setting clear boundaries with technology, like checking messages at set intervals instead of constantly, or designating screen-free times during meals, can restore focus and reduce mental fatigue. Giving your brain space away from screens allows it to recharge, improving both concentration and mood. You start noticing that you feel calmer, think faster, and retain information better when you limit unnecessary digital noise throughout your day. The way you breathe also influences mental sharpness. Deep rhythmic breathing enhances oxygen supply and calms the nervous system. When you take slow, deliberate breaths, you activate the parasympathetic system, which helps regulate stress and supports clear thinking. You can incorporate breathing into your routine easily. 2 minutes of focused breathing in the morning, or a few slow breaths before starting work. These small, conscious practices create a mental environment where your brain can perform optimally. Consistency is the thread that ties all these changes together. Doing something small each day is far more powerful than doing something big once in a while. The brain thrives on patterns. When you consistently provide it with good sleep, healthy food, movement, hydration, and calm, it begins to operate more efficiently without you needing to force it. These routines reinforce each other. Sleep supports better eating habits, exercise improves mood, hydration boosts energy, and mindfulness reduces stress. Over time, your brain learns to stay in a steady rhythm of focus and clarity. It's important to recognize that mental sharpness is not just about what you do occasionally, but about the lifestyle you maintain. Even small changes made consistently can rewire how your brain functions. Each positive choice, choosing water over soda, standing instead of sitting, walking instead of scrolling, signals to your body that you value clarity and well-being. The result is a gradual strengthening of mental energy, focus, and emotional balance that sustains you in the long term. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. There's no need for complicated systems or rigid rules. By aligning your daily habits with what your brain naturally needs, you create a foundation for lifelong mental clarity and resilience that continues to grow stronger over time. Consistent movement and mindful habits play a vital role in preventing cognitive decline, because the human brain is not designed for stillness or monotony. It thrives on stimulation, variety, and steady oxygen supply, all of which are driven by regular physical activity and deliberate awareness in everyday living. When movement becomes a part of your daily rhythm, it supports the entire network of systems that sustain brain health, from circulation to hormonal balance to neural plasticity. The connection between the body and brain is far stronger than most people realize. Every step you take, every stretch you hold, and every deep breath you take sends powerful signals that shape how your brain functions, adapts, and stays young. Over time, these consistent actions build a layer of protection against the gradual decline in focus, memory, and processing speed that can come with aging or stress. The science behind this connection begins with blood flow. Each time you move your body, your heart rate increases slightly, which pumps fresh oxygen and nutrients to the brain. This process nourishes neurons and encourages the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, often called fertilizer for the brain. BDNF supports the growth of new brain cells and strengthens existing ones, making communication between them faster and more efficient. Regular movement therefore acts as a natural shield against the wear and tear that can slow cognitive function over time. People who maintain a consistent level of activity often show better memory, quicker thinking, and lower risk of degenerative conditions because their brains remain active and well-fed. Mindful habits, on the other hand, provide the mental structure that complements physical movement. The act of paying attention, truly being aware of what you're doing and how you're feeling in the moment, helps train the brain to focus better. Mindfulness reduces mental clutter and prevents the constant overstimulation that can drain mental energy. Something as simple as walking without distractions, feeling your breath, or noticing the rhythm of your steps strengthens neural pathways responsible for attention and self-regulation. When practiced daily, mindfulness becomes a stabilizing force, allowing your mind to recover from stress more quickly and maintain a calm, alert state throughout the day. Modern life often encourages the opposite: long hours of sitting, multitasking, and mental fatigue from constant information input. These habits slow down neural processing and make it harder for the brain to stay resilient. Cognitive decline doesn't happen overnight. It's the cumulative result of years of physical inactivity, poor sleep, and chronic stress. But just as negative habits can accelerate decline, positive ones can rebuild and renew brain capacity. The beauty of consistent movement is that it doesn't require intense effort to be effective. Gentle daily exercise, stretching, yoga, or even short walks can stimulate brain regions responsible for memory and reasoning. Over time, the brain adapts to this regular stimulus by reinforcing neural connections and maintaining the flexibility that allows for lifelong learning and mental agility. Physical activity also influences hormone balance, which is closely tied to brain performance. Movement regulates cortisol, the stress hormone that, when left unchecked, can damage neurons in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for forming memories. Regular activity keeps cortisol levels in balance while increasing endorphins and dopamine, which boost mood and motivation. This combination helps maintain a more positive outlook and higher mental energy, both essential for keeping the brain active and engaged. Consistency is the key because sporadic bursts of activity don't allow the body or brain to build the adaptive resilience that comes from routine. It's the steady rhythm of daily movement that creates long-term stability. Incorporating mindfulness into physical movement amplifies these benefits. When you combine awareness with exercise, like focusing on your breathing during a walk, noticing the sensations in your muscles, or being present during stretches, you create a deeper brain-body connection. This activates both the motor and sensory areas of the brain simultaneously, improving coordination, balance, and mental alertness. Studies have shown that mindful movement practices such as Tai Chi or slow breathing exercises improve executive function, reduce anxiety, and even enhance memory recall in older adults. The key lies in the combination of movement and attention, which keeps both the physical and cognitive systems engaged in harmony. Consistency in these habits also teaches the brain to adapt better to change. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, depends on repeated stimulation. Each time you learn a new movement or practice mindful focus, your brain forms and strengthens new pathways. Over time, these pathways make it easier to learn new skills, solve problems creatively, and recall information quickly. People who engage in lifelong physical and mental activity often retain sharper minds because their neural networks remain flexible. It's not about intensity, it's about regularity and diversity. Mixing different kinds of movements and mental exercises keeps the brain alert and prevents it from falling into patterns of inertia. Cognitive decline is also closely tied to inflammation and oxidative stress within the body, both of which can be reduced through regular movement and mindfulness. Exercise helps regulate metabolism and improves the body's ability to manage glucose and oxygen, reducing the risk of conditions that can harm brain health, like diabetes and hypertension. Mindful breathing and stress management techniques reduce systemic inflammation by calming the nervous system and promoting relaxation. Together, These habits create an internal environment where the brain can repair itself efficiently, resist damage, and maintain youthful function well into later life. Even small daily choices can contribute to this protective effect. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, standing and stretching between tasks, or spending a few minutes outdoors can all count as movement that keeps your brain stimulated. Pairing these moments with mindfulness, being aware of your posture, your breathing, or the sounds around you, transforms routine activities into opportunities for mental training. It's not just about physical exercise, it's about cultivating an attitude of awareness and engagement with life that keeps the brain curious and adaptable. The more consistently you integrate these micro moments of movement and mindfulness, the more resilient your brain becomes against fatigue, distraction, and decline. Social interaction also plays a role in this cycle. Physical and mindful activities that involve others, like group walks, dance, or shared yoga practice, add an extra layer of mental stimulation. Engaging with people during movement challenges the brain's communication and empathy centers, helping to maintain emotional intelligence alongside cognitive strength. These experiences release oxytocin and other feel-good chemicals that enhance memory, creativity, and mental flexibility. When movement becomes social, it not only supports the brain but also nurtures the sense of connection and belonging that keeps the mind emotionally balanced. Ultimately, consistent movement and mindful habits form the foundation of a brain that stays sharp and resilient throughout life. They work together to ensure that your mind doesn't simply react to stress and aging, but actively grows stronger through experience. The more you move with intention, the more you reinforce your brain's capacity to think clearly, adapt quickly, and remain calm under pressure. Every small, mindful action you take, whether it's a few deep breaths, a short stretch, or a mindful walk, acts as an investment in your future mental clarity. The cumulative effect of these daily habits is profound, building a buffer of strength and flexibility that keeps your brain youthful, engaged, and capable of thriving well into the years ahead.